What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. You'll have to excuse my mess of a desk here. Oh, so yes, we have got quite a few to fix today. We're going to kick things off with number 219 here that's been patiently waiting for us to get to them. And then we have got Edwards to revisit. We looked at theirs a few weeks ago, and they described it as sounding underwater, but we couldn't reproduce the issue. It seemed like it was a Wi-Fi issue on their end. In any case, they do want to go ahead with hardware maintenance so that it doesn't have to go back and forth between them and us in the future for other common issues. So yeah, we'll do Edwards with some maintenance. Then we're going to take a look at OpenhousePro. And they've got some DC, some bad DC filter symptoms. We've got NP241, obviously no power. Azad, no power. Anthony, no power. We've also got an anonymous, no power. Eugene with no power. And Daniel with some, also they've got some bad DC filters. That is quite the queue. Let's see if we can make that look a little more aesthetically pleasing. There we go. All right. I think we are all set. Oh, not quite. Let's shoot a link to watch for number 219 here. Where are they at? Number 219. Oh, we texted them. So we shall go ahead and text them back. I'm going to pull out the glorified text messaging machine, aka the Mac. We're going to find number 219 here. There they are. Let's grab a link to the stream. Perfect. Oh, excellent. It looks like I won a broken HomePod for parts off eBay for a pretty good $50 if you ask me. That's not too bad. Not too shabby. There we go. Alright, we've got number 219 notified. Let's find Edward and shoot them a link to watch since they're up next. Let's see. There we go. Now we can finally do some work. So we've got number 214 here with no lights, no power, no nothing. We've got a couple of watts getting pulled from the wall, which based on our experience, that tells us it's not a blown fuse. It's not this, that, or any other thing than the usual shorted diode on the amplifier board. So we'll get that apart, get that diode replaced, and while we're in, Almost drew blood there. As I was saying, while we are in there, we will do our trademark maintenance and replace the filters that love to go bad over time and cause death farts. And we'll button it all up with a rubber subwoofer gasket to replace the old foam one. All that for pretty much every HomePod today, and pretty much every HomePod we get in here. We've gotten most of these repairs down to a pretty simple science. If you haven't noticed or haven't watched any of our streams until now, we get like two common hardware issues usually showing up here. No power like this one, and death farts or bass issues. Those are like 99 out of 100 of the repairs that we get here. Well, I'd say more like 90 out of 100. And since they are so common, what we do is we replace both of the parts that cause each of those issues, so that, if, like this one with no power, we don't want to do all this work, take their time and money, and have it come back to us for death farts or bass issues, especially if we could have prevented it and we knew about it. And I used to not replace the filters unless they actually tested bad, but that didn't last forever. It got to the point where filters were testing good here and now, but a few months down the road, they would fail, even though it's completely unrelated to the power issue. And people understandably, it's not technically a warranty issue, but I'm happy to work something out with you. But after that happened like 4 times, I said, nah, we're just going to replace these filters as a bit of preventative maintenance to stay ahead of that. Because I could see it then. I could see it happening. Only replace what breaks, and then over time we'd get more and more and more of these coming back to us for other issues that we could have prevented. So yeah, all of these no power repairs, all of these death farts repairs and bass issues repairs, they all get pretty much the same treatment. They get taken apart, they get a new diode to prevent the same power issue, they get new filters to prevent death farts, and they get a new subwoofer gasket for good measure. And that has worked out rather well for us. You've got other issues, like the ones with like blinking volume buttons and boot looping. Those ones are rather tricky, because a hardware issue that causes those symptoms, as we've started seeing more and more of, can temporarily go away and then come back days, weeks, months later. So we fixed a lot of ones with blinking volume buttons, but I'd say about a couple a month always come back, because, well, it started working. We were able to fix it either with a software restore or a replacement logic board, but the replacement had a similar issue just waiting to reproduce itself again. Or the software originally went bad because of a hardware issue, and it's only an intermittent hardware failure. Pretty common for solder/BGA issues. Alright, we're going to do that maintenance first and get those filters out of the way, just because it's my least favorite component to work on here. Ooh, close call. Oh, that's right. I forgot to order a new soldering iron tip. This thing is absolutely cooked. I don't know if you can see that, but that dark spot on my tip, those are holes. Those are holes in the tip, and it does not take solder anymore. But we're getting by. We're making it work. It's not the tools, it's the tricks. Although the tools can help a lot. Now, how did my camera come out of focus like that? All right. That's a pretty fine job on those filters. Let's flip it around and knock out that dead Schottky diode. We've got a 46K date code on there. That's what we expect to see with these dead diodes. If it was a still working, then there would be something else going on here. Or actually, I should say, if it was a different date code, then I'd be confident that wouldn't even be our problem. Since that's what we've noticed, was the only diodes that were failing were within a certain date range. Correlation isn't always causation, but by now I think we've seen enough examples of it to reasonably assume that there was some sort of manufacturing or quality control issue with these diodes during those date codes we're talking about. So, by replacing this with a newer version of the exact same specification, we're good to go. It won't happen again. And ironically, the higher quality version, the version of this diode that's held to higher manufacturing standards for like medical use and what have you, you know, super critical stuff where it's really important things don't fail unexpectedly. It's a cheaper part. And that's it. We can put this back together. Wow. All right.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the Home app. I'm having trouble connecting.
All right. That looks and sounds fantastic. We'll do the final testing on that one and get it out. Oh, running out of room on my bench here. There we go. is a lot better. Okay. Oof. We are back with Edward. He's actually got 2 pods here. And yeah, we already fixed both. Well, of the 2 HomePods, this was the one that was boot looping, and it was fixed with just a software restore via USB. And the other one, they said they described it as sounding like it was underwater, but we couldn't reproduce those issues, and it seemed a lot like it was more to do with their Wi-Fi network. Did I already maintain this one? I feel like I did. I feel like I did. Or did we put a different logic board in it? Well, let's take it apart a little more and just find out for sure. I guess we could look at our, we could also look at the repair stream for his and see what we did with it. Let's see. Edward. Oh, that's right. So this one was no power originally. And then when we got it working again, it was boot looping. So then we attempted a software restore, and that fixed it. The other one's the one that still needs to get worked on though. So this one should be working just fine. We don't need to do anything to this. We already took it apart. We fixed it. We did the maintenance. Silly me. Doesn't make a difference to the repair cost in the end. Since it's all the same amount of work, I charge the same amount. Okay, we'll plug this in and make sure that it is still in good working order. We'll grab his other one here. And we'll get started on that. Yep, that was, we already got that one all fixed up. Good to go. Cool. Well, that means let's find Mr. OpenhousePro here and let them know they're up next. Ah, yes, we texted them. Let me pull out the Mac. All right. So yeah, we already started taking this one apart too. I think this is about where we stopped though. Did I already do this one too? Because there's a replacement gasket in here. Well, let's go back to the live stream. So, Edward, no power. Interesting. I go through Edwards with no power. Oh, here we go. Edward with bad base. And then that's it. Okay, so what I did was I took it apart, and this is as far as I got it, but I did put a new gasket in there. So here we go. We will continue, because this one needs the actual hardware maintenance. Alright, so this has a 26K dated Schottky diode. So that need not be replaced, it's not going to cause any power issues. These filters, however, are going to go. So that they don't go first and take out other parts of the amplifier and the subwoofer out with them. These are ceramic capacitors, and all ceramics naturally decay over time, and whether they're being used or not, they lose their effectiveness at filtering DC voltage. In this particular application, that's really important. We're trying to get the DC voltage down to less than 30 millivolts. So, Apple also didn't really design the amp to accommodate these going bad, aside from death farting on you and trying to keep you from using it. So we'll get these replaced so this doesn't come back to us. Mike, welcome back. Any thoughts on the RISC-based soldering irons? Ooh, I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the little pen ones? Like that people had little battery-powered ones and like USB-C ones? You talking about the iFixit one that they recently put out? I don't actually know what you mean by RISC-based soldering irons. I won't pretend like I do know. I was born and raised on a frickin' butane soldering iron. That sucker heated up fast too, though. It was a great little iron. Didn't have to worry about being plugged into a wall. It made plenty of heat. and it doubled as a little heat gun. So you could use it to fix up heat shrink. I have been staying away from a lot of the smaller soldering irons, especially the portable ones, just because I feel like they're not going to have enough power to pump enough heat into a lot of what I need to do here. I feel like I would struggle with a lot of the repairs that we do here with one of those. EV recently took a look at the iFixit one, and he did a great video on that one. I'm trying to hold out and see if they do like a refresh in a year or two on it before I replace my iron with something like that entirely. My primary complaint with the iFixit one is what EVblog points out, which is it can't pump enough heat through the whole tick. And I mean, it'll probably get most jobs done, but we're dealing with some big chunks of metal here and there, and I'd rather have one iron that can tackle it all than have to fumble between them. Try one and it doesn't work, try the other one and it does work. I'd rather just grab the one that'll work the first time. Oh, the pine sill. I've heard a few people talking about those. Not bad for what it is. But I haven't, my only experience with irons are the super cheap ones that plug right into the wall, and it's, you know, your dollar store special. My butane Weller one, and this bad boy right here. Haven't tried anything else yet. Yeah, and at least the iFixit soldering iron seems to be a fully custom made like iFixit product. I had bought their a multimeter off of iFixit a few years ago, and that was quite a disappointing purchase, if I must be honest. The only purchase I've ever made from iFixit where I regretted it. It's supposed to have a way to, well, let me say that it turns itself off after 5 minutes, whether you're actively using it or not. It's going to turn itself back off. It's a battery saving feature. Ooh. It's supposed to let you turn that off, and it doesn't. It still shuts off after 5 minutes. And the most annoying part is it'll beep at you. It'll go beep, 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 like 5 times over the course of like the last 2 minutes before it actually shuts off. And then when it shuts off, it finally goes beep. It is the most obnoxious. I have never wanted to throw a tool across a room before more than that multimeter from iFixit. Hate that thing with a burning passion. I think I even left a review on their product page for it. It was just that bad. And it was clearly just a reboxed white label cheap Chinese multimeter because it came with awfully written instructions that were obviously translated. That just were, yeah. I fix it. I haven't checked their multimeter offerings recently. I don't think I have it in here. Otherwise, I'd show the bastard to you so you can avoid it. Where's the frame? I'll just grab another one. Do I buy all these and resell them, or are we fixing them for customers? Lieutenant Dangle, welcome. I don't believe I've seen your name around here before, and I hope to see it many more times, at least. To answer your question, everything that you see us fix here, well, majority of everything that you see us fix here, these are broken ones that various people have mailed into us from around the country, sometimes other countries as well. Usually that's too expensive, and we've found quite a few people around the world that offer repair services, so by now we pretty much only just need to worry about the US and Canada. Yeah, to answer your question, these are all ones people that already had that were broken. I do sell refurbished HomePods. It's not my favorite thing, but I get asked about it too much to say no anymore, so I sell them. And the deal with the refurbs is if you want to buy one of my refurbished HomePods, you pay for it, and then I do have a bunch of broken HomePods that I buy for myself. I try to get them for a decent price so that I've got, of course, plenty of parts sitting around for any kind of repair I may encounter along the way. But also gives people a little bit of extra fun entertainment to watch the HomePod that they just bought get worked on and put together. And it gives them a chance to see the exact HomePod that they're gonna get. And of course I by default pick the best condition parts to put them together for you folks, unless you say that you're gonna stick it in a coal mine or something, in which case I'm not gonna give you the nicest white one that I've got. But yeah, I'd say we probably sell like 1 or 2 refurbs a month, and pretty much everything else you see us fix here is mail-in repairs. Oh, that would be absolutely insane if every single one of these that you've seen us fix here was for myself. We'd have thousands. I would have far surpassed my life goal of 500. 500 HomePods for myself. We would have smashed that. Oh, looks like my wife's pulling into the driveway, so just in time, I will plug this in, and I want you guys to tell me if it does anything weird. Alright. Is it still booting? Well, I guess this one's gonna need a USB restore as well. That is... Oh, unless it's resetting itself. I'll give it another minute here. Yeah, alright, I'm glad I waited. It just needed to reset itself. Well, we've got both of Edward's HomePods all maintained, all reset, all ready to use. Let's see who's next here. We've got OpenhousePro with possibly a stinky subwoofer as a result of those infamous DC filters going bad, as they all do over time. But let's get this plugged in, get it going, switch the names around on the screen. After this, we've got an anonymous no power. Let's shoot him a link to watch. Number 241. Here we go, 241. We texted them, of course.
I'm having trouble connecting to the...
Alright, the next repair has been notified. Ooh, that's a pop. Wow, okay, let's get that fixed. Bax, what is up? Welcome. Alex, oh, you'll be here for a while. I hope you brought your sleeping bag, because you'll be staying the night too. What's the most common failure? Do the caps just age out? Yes, yeah, pretty much. Apple used 4 little ceramic capacitors for the DC offset filtering on their Class D amplifier in here. The Sonos, chances are Sonos accounted for capacitor aging and failure, and has done something different than what Apple does here. When these filters go bad, it just death farts on you. It'll just death fart, and some people just keep using it, and that's what causes more damage. Unfortunately, death farts, when it starts death farting, it's already way past the damaging amount of DC voltage from those filters going bad. But we get lucky. Usually the subwoofers are still okay. And you know, as many of these that we fixed, and as many of these issues as we've all seen, the majority of HomePods out there don't have any problems. So I do talk a lot about these filters aging and going bad over time, but I do suspect that all of the ones that we're getting in and that have failed, that we're replacing, are failing more due to a quality issue than a standard capacitor aging issue. Because otherwise, right, we would be seeing way more of these. But death farts in the DC filters going bad is by far and large not the most common issue that these experience. Also considering we've seen HomePods with death farts as early as a year after their first release, I sincerely doubt that any kind of normal use would age appropriately spec'd filters that fast, as there's just no chance. So I do say a lot that yes, these filters will eventually need to be replaced again. Yes, they all naturally age and decay over time. We don't know how long that actually is. In theory, it would be at least as long as Apple's original ones, if not much longer because in theory we're using higher quality ones. But also, many of these filter failures that we've repaired so far might not even have been due to capacitor aging. Like I said, it could just be crappy capacitors. And, you know, the replacement filters we put in here, heck, they may last 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. But in any case, I'm sure there's a Nix fix out there for Sonos speakers, and they're dealing with the same or similar situations with those. We've only dealt with a fraction of a % of all the HomePods that were sold out there. We fixed more than 3,000 of them by ourselves, but that's still, if you know, 1.5 million, 2 to 3 million of these HomePods were sold. That's still way less than the 1% goal that manufacturers achieve for failure rates of their products. So I wouldn't really take that at face value. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but it's easy for someone to read that and go, okay, well, the Sonos speakers seem to last longer, so they must do something different. And frankly, I don't know if they, you know, I don't know how many Sonos speakers were sold. I don't know how many out there have been fixed. I don't know how many people are out there fixing them and how many they've fixed either. I've just got a vague idea of what's going on with the HomePods here. I did fix a Sonos subwoofer once. It was a local. They reached out to me through my Yelp page, surprisingly. And they were like, hey, I've got a Sonos subwoofer that stopped powering on. And they dropped it off, and I took a look at it. And all we did was take it apart and put it together, and it turned right on. I was quite surprised. I did get a chance to try it out, and I was a little underwhelmed. I mean, obviously, a standalone Sonos subwoofer has more bass than a HomePod, but it just, I don't know, it kind of sounded like, not my taste, but it's not bad. Oh, also, there isn't even really, in my opinion, there isn't a one-to-one Sonos competitor for the HomePod. And by that I mean they don't have a 360-degree omnidirectional smart speaker. They've got the Play 5 and whatever. Don't they have I want to say they did put something else out. I want to say they did. But I'm going to be lazy and not look it up. Not now, at least. I vaguely remember looking into buying a few of them to try them out, but the price was not compelling for something that I just wanted to try. And then again, sound comparisons. YouTubers are all over that. I still preferred the HomePod at the end of the day. Very nice. Got some new filters in there. Our 10 ohm resistor survived. Our Schottky diode is of the 52K date, so that's not going to fail on us. I think this is ready to go back together. There we go.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
That is much better. Let's get number 241 up here now. Up next will be Azad. All right. Here we go. No lights, no power, no nothing there. We've got a couple of watts over here. That looks like the usual dead diode. While we've got it apart, of course, we're going to replace those filters too, so that it doesn't come back to us for death farts or any other preventable base issues. And then we'll flip it around and replace the diode that's causing this power problem. Alright, y'all know the drill. Filters first, then we'll flip it around and get that dead diode. Alright. New filters done. Time for a new diode. Of course, we've got a 48K date code there.
having trouble. I'm having trouble.
Beautiful. Alright, now we've got Azad. Let's get their name up. After that, we've got Anthony. Let's see what Azad is doing here. Yep, no lights, no power, no nothing here other than the usual couple of watts from the wall. We've seen that plenty of times here. That tells us it's not like a blown fuse, it's not like physical damage, it's not like pretty much any other issue we've seen other than that infamous dead diode. So let's get this apart. We'll take care of those filters while we're inside so it doesn't have to come back to us for death farts later. And we'll get this thing turning on again. Azad, what is up? Welcome. Glad you can make it. I mean, if you don't wanna get it fixed, if you don't wanna keep it, I'm more than happy to keep it for you. It doesn't have to be your HomePod. No such thing as too many HomePods. Power supply issue. Nah. I bet you the power supply is working just fine. The reason why the Schottky diode failure on the amplifier board causes the whole HomePod to not power on, I mean, it's pretty common for all sorts of shorts in electronic devices to cause unexpected behavior. No power in the lights. But if the short isn't on the power supply, it's on the amplifier, then why isn't the logic board or display lighting up? That is because the logic board and display get their power through the amplifier board. So the AC power comes in from your wall, in through the side of the HomePod, and it goes into the internal power supply where it takes that AC voltage and it converts it to the 48 volts DC that the amplifier board wants. And then so you've got the power supply plugged into the amplifier. The amplifier takes that DC power and it does what it wants to do with that, in addition to sending some power to up top here with where the logic board and display are. And power supply failures are surprisingly rare in these. They're pretty robust. And internally, every first-gen HomePod worldwide is the same. It doesn't matter if you bought it in America or China or Japan or somewhere with 220 volts instead of America's 110. But it's all the exact same on the inside. That power supply has the ability to switch between 110 and 220. But in any case, we almost never see those power supplies failing. Here we go again. Up first, our favorite fart filters. There it is, our favorite dead diode. We don't even need to test anything. We know what's going on here just by that date code on there. should do it. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not perfect, but I do spend a lot of time and effort trying to make it look and feel interesting, at least. My desk is an absolute disaster right now, though you'll have to excuse the mess. There we go.
I'm having trouble connecting.
I'm having trouble. Aren't we all? Alright. Zod, feel free to hang out with us and enjoy the rest of these repairs, or hang tight after the stream and I get a chance to catch up with the day and eat some food. I'll hit you back up and let you know how to get your HomePod back. So here is Anthony's HomePod now. Let's see. Yes, no lights, no power. No nothing here other than the usual couple of watts from the wall there. I'm gonna try to make this easier on myself. We'll give this top a little preheat here. Wow, look at that. Not too bad. Let's see if that makes everything else come up easier too. Not quite. Yeah. I mean, if it's not going to make anything easier and it just takes more time, then why do it? What's my record for most fixed in a day? I think we did like 14 or 15 in a day a few weeks ago. This whole holiday season has just been the busiest we've ever been. Like, everything that we've fixed and are going to have fixed today is all repairs that showed up yesterday. And everything we showed up yesterday was a combination of the past 2 days. Today, I had another 10 show up. Our average, the past few years, our average has only been like 3 to 5, maybe 7 or 8 at most in a single day, but it's just like consistently that it's like December hit, and it's been 10, 15 HomePods a day almost every single day. The fastest HomePod I've ever fixed. I mean, if we're talking like a full disassembly, board repair, and reassembly, I've gotten that down to an average of 18 to 22 minutes, with the fastest time being, I think we did 15 minutes flat. It was like 13 or 15. It was an insane time. Quite proud of it. I'll have to dig that live stream back up and make a short out of it. Always blows my mind when these things catch the threads the way they do. Set up a timer on the next one. You can just look at the live stream clock, or the counter, the timeline on YouTube, whatever they call it. Dang it. I gotta get through them, man. I gotta fix them, man. If I take a day off, we'll get so far behind so fast. I was gonna finish swapping the engine back into my Z today, but I guess I ordered the wrong gasket off Amazon 2 days ago, and the right size is, I'm still waiting for that to get delivered today. So I said, forget it. I'll just fix HomePods while I wait for Amazon to deliver stuff. And my window for today to work on my car is quickly closing, so it'll probably have to wait till the weekend. I've been needing to live stream my work on my cars, but my garage is gross, my work is gross, my cars are gross. My engine bay's all greasy. I'm using cheap parts. If anything, it would just be a troll. Look at what I can do and it still works. Look at what I can get away with. What's that? You bent 2 rods? Pop new rods in there. Don't replace anything else. Call it good. And I mean, why should I have to replace anything else? The dang motor's been apart and rebuilt 3 times already the past year. Now, if I had sparkly metal fragments going through my oil, yeah, I might have wanted to take everything apart and give it a good clean and start all over, but dang it, I had just gotten that engine rebuilt again. You think the Honda-Nissan merger will be a good thing? Tough call. I don't know. Real tough call. I mean, I can't help but kind of get a little excited on one hand as both a Honda and Nissan fanboy. I love my Hondas and my Nissans. What will come out of it? I mean, it can't be any worse than the Toyota, like the Toyota BMW collaboration or the Toyota Subaru collaboration, you know? Right? Yes.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Very nice. Alright. Another one down, another one up. Here we go with number 204 here. That's not how many we've fixed, of course. We've fixed far more than that. That's just to help us track who's when people say, please don't stream mine or do it anonymously. Well, we've got no lights, no power, the usual power draw at the wall for the usual dead diode. Let's get this apart and get it fixed. A GTR with a VTEC? Doesn't the GTR engine already have variable valve timing? Don't most modern engines have variable valve timing now? Or is that still mostly a Honda thing? I know Honda specifically calls theirs VTEC, and it would be fun to have the VTEC badge on a GTR. More like a Nissan Altima with VTEC, bro. Whoa. Beautiful. We are certainly getting through it. I think we can get everything fixed up today. Let's see, no lights, no power, a couple of watts from the wall. We've seen it a bunch of times, and we'll see it a bunch more. Here we go. Here we go, let's get the fart filters first before they take out the amplifier and subwoofer speaker. They love to age over time and go bad, so we like to replace them before that happens. Is that a bridge from the factory that I see right here? That totally Oh, you know what? When I scraped them all together to pick them up, that probably got put there. There's no way that would have worked without problems. And now for our dead diode. 48K dated, of course.
having trouble connecting. I'm having trouble.
Yeah, aren't we all? Alright. We've got Daniel, and then we've got one more, and then we're done. Well, I mean, we're caught up for today at least. And by that I mean we're caught up for yesterday. Let's see what we've got here. Excuse me. It's taking its time. There we go. Oh. That is quite the tin can if you ask me. Doesn't smell bad yet, but they did a pretty good job sealing these things up, so let's get it apart. I am fully expecting that subwoofer to be totally roasted. As a result, of course, of those DC filters having gone bad. Hopefully the amplifier is still good at least. Ooh, I can smell it now. Oh boy. Ooh, that woofer is very done. Yeah, it shouldn't stick like that. Ooh, it shouldn't crunch like that either. I'm not even gonna sniff that one. That's gonna give me cancer. That's a rough one. It still hasn't. Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say it hasn't even popped back up yet. Yeah, that is done. I've got another subwoofer ready to go, set to the side here. But let's get this apart the rest of the way and make sure there isn't any other damage. And prevent the replacement woofer from having the same fate. Ooh, that is a stinky woofer. I might have to Febreze this thing before I send it back. The smell has permeated through all of the parts. What have we got? Ooh, that's stinky. Alright, the amplifier, the main chip looks great. And we have a 26K dated diode. Dang, even our 10 ohm resistor looks fine. So this will need new filters and a new subwoofer. Oh, there's Amazon. Dang, if only they showed up a few hours earlier, then I would have, I'd have the engine back in my car by now. But then we wouldn't have fixed all these HomePods today. Alright. Here is a good woofer. I'll even smell it to prove it to you. Ah, yes. 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 That is fixed. And with that, we have arrived at the final melon. The last melon. DC 249 here, with probably similar symptoms and needing a similar repair. Hopefully the subwoofer hasn't cooked itself yet. Do I do replacement meshes? Absolutely I do. I sell the mesh by itself, or I can throw it in any repair if you've got one here that we're fixing up for you. We can do all of that for you. Ooh, that is quite poppy. It sounds like the subwoofer has a chance of still being good, so hopefully it's not too late for this one. Let's find out. I always try to clean, if somebody wants a mesh replaced on their HomePod, I always try to clean theirs first. You'd be surprised what cleans up. A little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a little bit of light elbow grease, of course. If you scrub these too hard, the layers of the mesh start to separate and it looks ugly. Baby wipes also work pretty well for getting larger areas of like dirt. How much does it cost? I couldn't find. If you're looking for a replacement on a HomePod that we're already fixing, it's $20. If you're looking to buy the mesh by itself, I've got a list, depending on the condition of the mesh that you want. I've got prices on my shop website. If you go to the shop, it's at the very, very bottom of my shop page. I don't even have pictures of them up yet. So this is interesting. They ran out of length of drawstring and felt the need to tie an extra little bit of black to the end of both of them, really. That's funny. Not the first time I've seen them tie a little bit onto the end, but the first time I've seen them use a different color on both of them. This is a nice little surprise for folks that have stuck around this whole stream to the very end. That is actually one of the reasons why I like working on these so much, because you get to come across weird one-off ways that they put things together from the factory. And Apple typically doesn't like to Frankenstein things, but this is I mean, that's kind of exactly what they tend to not do. No harm though, so no foul. No one sees it, and it works. But still, the drawstrings were plenty long enough. Why did they feel so compelled to add an extra centimeter to the end of it? I mean, the inverse of that is the second gen HomePod. They made the drawstrings too short. So short, in fact, you can't pull it back tight if you take it apart. You have to sit there and stuff it back into itself by hand, and it's tedious. The subwoofer has survived. How does the last one of the stream every time end up being the most stubborn? It's just begging to turn a 20-minute repair into a 2-hour repair, and I'm not having it. I am having dinner soon. Alright, I can see some stuff already. Let's get the filters replaced first. Oh, you... I had to jinx it. The last one of the stream has to be the most stubborn. And I was not kidding because boy does it need the works. That resistor's blown up too. Ah, there you go. Now you can see what's left of it at least. Alright. Last but not least, it needs a new Schottky diode. It is dated 46K, so it will eventually fail and cause no power. Let's get that replaced. Thankfully, at least it doesn't need a new subwoofer. That's about the only other thing that we can replace in this HomePod before it's practically a whole nother HomePod. Alright, I can see the finish line now. How many have we fixed in this one sitting today? Like 10? That's not too bad for just about 3 hours of work. you know, for how stubborn this HomePod was to work on, I am surprised that every single one of these screws went in without a hassle. Look at that. Am I the guy that fixes HomePods on Reddit? That's me, I'm that guy. Also, what is up? Welcome, welcome. You just caught the tail end of our... Oh, we're going on 3.5 hours of a repair stream. This is, I believe, the 10th and final HomePod we'll be fixing here. Today, at least. I had another 10 show up today, so tomorrow will be another big one. Might actually take tomorrow off. Today was this is a pretty big one. What's the common issue with them? Well, we primarily work on the first gens. We get second gens in here every once in a while, but most of the ones that show up are first gens, and that's what we're mostly known for too. So, I actually have a list of all of the issues, common and lesser common. They're all up on my website. You should go check that out, nixfix.com. It's a pretty fancy website. You won't waste your time, I promise. But at the top, I've got a link to the known issues that we've seen. The most common ones are no power, death farts and bass issues, and blinking volume buttons. Second gen HomePods and the minis seem to have an increasing number of reports in like ghost touch issues, and that sucks because I've taken a look at one and it needed a new touch panel, and there's no replacement touch panel. Unlike many of the issues with the first gens that can be fixed with an off-the-shelf component like a capacitor or diode, the main issue with the second gens is not fixable. And Apple doesn't sell the parts. It would be a really neat idea if they sold the parts. They could sell it like a repair kit. I've said this a few times on my stream, but they could sell a repair kit with like a replacement mesh and a replacement top. It's a little extra money for them, and they just don't do it for some reason. I mean, I get it. They don't want to support people fixing their own stuff. That's a hassle. But I think I still think it's wrong. Unless they acknowledge the issue and confirm that a fix is coming with software. Alright, folks, that is it. We've cleared today's queue at least. We got another 10 waiting to get fixed up that showed up today, and who knows how many more will show up tomorrow. It never ends. But in any case, I'd love to stay here and hang out with you guys for longer and fix some more stuff in chat, but I love my wife and kid more, and I'm getting pretty hungry. So that is it for here and now.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I will catch you in the next one.